Welcome, friends.
Hello, everyone.
It's wonderful to see you again this week. We love connecting with you over a cup of tea, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to spend a little bit of time with us.
And now we're in September
Oh, my goodness, yes.
already. And this is a transition month. We're kind of summer, or I am summer weary.
Yes, agreed.
I am ready to slide right into autumn. And September is the month where we kind of get our minds wrapped around the fact that summer is really going to be over.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into the autumn months, the cooler months. This is the time I like to look and see what I have to put out. I don't put a lot out into my home to decorate with because it's a lot of work always taking it down, putting it away.
For sure.
Truthfully. But I do like a garland on the fireplace, my 3 gourds hanging on the doorway, on the front door. Just a pumpkin maybe sitting here or there, but that's about it. But it does put me in the mood for autumn.
I think autumn's our favorite time of year.
It truly is. So, we're getting close to it right now. And the cooler mornings bring out the idea of, a good old cup of tea.
Yes, for sure. Something warm, and it's nice to have the cool mornings. It is that transition of the green into those golden shadows too. As I walked up to the shop this morning, it was just, the sun was just kind of rising over the building and everything. The trees just even started to look golden, and it's that change in color, just the change in the light. It's beautiful. It's painterly.
Yes, it is. And I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in the wind. It blows. The spiders that are
Oh yeah, the big
weaving their webs.
spiders
Yes.
hanging down now.
Really just everything. And so it just all is pointing towards the
Yes,
autumn.
it's
And,
lovely.
and now the full moon will be coming on, and it's one of the super moons. So this is the second of 4 super moons,
It's exciting.
which means it's closer to the earth, and so it looks bigger.
Love it.
And this is the harvest moon. And everybody take a chance to take time to go out
yes.
and look at the full moon, and it'll be on the 17th. So for
Okay.
everyone,
Yeah, and just to go out and appreciate and standing under the stars in the full moon. There's just, especially if you can get out in the country where you're away from the light pollution. It's really so magical.
find a park outside the town to go to. Yes,
It's a great idea.
and the sunflower patches, the second patch is now blooming. So they plant 2 fields so that when one field is done, the second field is just opening up with blooms, which is really wonderful.
Yeah.
It kind of extends that sunflower season.
It does.
And
Yeah.
if you get a chance at all to come out and see them on your way out here, it's just a quarter of a mile to the west of us.
Yeah, and if you don't come out on the way, then just, we've been trying to remind people as they leave the shop to go by the sunflower patch, and we can tell you right how to get there. It's just really close, and it doesn't add any time onto your travel if you're coming from Lawrence. It's just another block over, basically.
Well, it will add a little time if you stop and savor the beauty of those yellow sunflowers.
As
They're
we hope you
just-
do.
Yes, coming over that hill, I just have to stop each time and just take it all in because it'll be gone before we know it.
Yeah, it will. That's one of those fleeting pleasures of the season.
We've had a lot of interest in our new classes coming up.
The teacher that we had teaching our basket classes is also teaching a whisk broom class. And we have just a few spots still left in that class. We hope that you'll join us. Another wonderful skill, ancestral skill to learn. And then we have another basket class coming up, a small basket class coming up. And so if you didn't get in on the larger market basket class, you will want to join us for this adorable small gift basket, just the right size to put a couple of jars of jelly in. A great gift to give, and easy to learn to make.
And one of the things I always think about taking a class, once you learn how to do something, you have that skill for the rest of your life. You know how to do it. You can pick it up anytime you want to do it. And that knowledge is power. So
Knowledge is power. That's
yes,
so true.
it's just good to learn those different things. You never know when you might want to do it, if you're laid up or whatever, or in January when the snow is blowing. Pull out something else to do.
Oh, always great to have those hobbies and things to busy ourselves.
And we do have a sale going on.
We do have a sale going on, and many of you know that I love tarot. I read tarot, I teach tarot, and we carry many tarot and oracle decks here in the shop. And during the month of September, we've decided to mark almost all of our tarot decks and oracle decks down 40%. So we are making room for something new and just wanting to share the bounty with you. So for those of you who want to have another tarot deck to add to your collection or give as a gift,
Yes.
it's a great opportunity to get a great deal.
Yes, and then we also have fire cider now in the shop.
We do. Many of you make your own fire cider. It's something that we teach in our home herbalism program, and we know many of our students make, but a lot of people don't have time to make fire cider. Fire cider is a wonderful tool to have in our winter wellness apothecary to stay well. And like we used elderberry as well. Elderberry is one of our winter wellness apothecary items that we use on a regular basis. And so is fire cider, especially when we feel something coming on. It is a horseradish vinegar based, cayenne, all kinds of, it's like a hot, spicy thing that really gets gets everything moving in an instant. As soon as you take it, you can feel everything start to kind of move. And it's wonderful. And we are delighted that Carol over at Mindfully Made, who makes the elderberry syrup that we carry on our shelves, is now also making a wonderful fire cider that we are also now carrying on our shelf here at the shop. So when you stop out, you might grab yourself a bottle. If you don't have the time or the inclination to make your own, it's great to have for those times when you're starting to feel a little under the weather.
It surely is. The other thing is, I was looking out my window, there's very little blooming right now.
Very little.
We're waiting for the asters to come on.
Yes.
And of course, you can buy the big mums at the nursery stores.
Which aren't very good for pollen. I mean, that's
No,
not really a
they are
pollinator
not.
plant.
And they're not at all. But the one thing that is blooming is the garlic chives. Oh my
yes.
goodness, I have pollinators all over them.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Just go out and there's flies and wasps and bees and
Yes.
honeybees and butterflies. I mean, the number and the variety of pollinators who are on the garlic chives right now, because they don't have much else to eat right now. And it's not a native to our area, but it is a wonderful pollinating plant and a great herb to use in our cooking. It's one that we love. It will spread vigorously. It's also called Chinese leeks or Chinese chives. It's native to a province in China, but it's really naturalized now all around the world because it can be quite aggressive. In some areas, it's considered to be a noxious weed. We always try to clip the heads of the garlic chives off. We use them. We make a wonderful herbal vinegar with it that we use ourselves and we sell here in the shop. It's our favorite herbal vinegar to just clip those heads off and drop them in a jar with some white wine vinegar. Usually we use the organic white wine vinegar. It's a great thing to be able to do. So if you have garlic chives, you can enjoy the flower heads both in a vinegar or on a salad and whatever you're making. You can use those flower heads for a little taste of garlic.
Yes, even the flower heads, the little flowers from that head, sprinkle them into a sandwich. Delicious. Put on a baked potato.
Oh yeah.
It just is. They're wonderful and so pretty on a green salad. I mean, really quite impressive when you
Yes.
put them on a green salad.
For sure. And they taste like garlic. They're delicious.
Just a little bit of the garlic, yes. And yes, and I do have quite a few heads of the garlic chives, but they have to be clipped off in a time. I wait till they are just going to seed. They're drying and they're going to seed. That's a good time to clip them before the seeds actually fall out. I love to give the pollinators as much time with them as possible.
For sure, because they clearly need it.
Yes, clearly they do. So if you want to plant garlic chives and you don't have any seeds or anything, ask us. We will get some seeds for you.
Sure, we have plenty of seeds always to share. And
Yes.
so, yeah, if you're local, just let us know you want some, a couple days before you're coming into the shop, and we'll be happy to pull some out for you.
Most definitely. Well, one of the things I'd like to talk about today is something that's created quite a bit of interest in what I've been doing. 2 or 3 years ago, I made a seasonal wall hanging. And it is made from grasses and the things that grow along both sides of my lane. I have a very long lane, and as you go down the lane, walk down the lane, I see this and that and everything. And I always think, oh, I ought to save that. But how do you save it? And I can't save everything. I decided one year I would just make a wall hanging of things I see that interest me that grow in the side of my ditches on the side of the lane. So I took a piece of chicken wire, the larger whole chicken wire, and sprayed it brown, took a couple of branches, actually from the Osage orange tree, because I wanted the orange to show through. And I wrapped the wire around a branch at the top and a branch at the bottom. And then put a big piece of jute string that would hang up, that I could hang it up. And so during the year, then I could add to it. And with those spaces created by the chicken wire, one can weave in and out with the grasses and poke them here, poke them there, whatever. And by starting in the spring, there's not a lot to add. We have to wait until the things grow a little bit, the weeds grow a little bit, the plants grow, and also the plants bloom. And when they bloom, well, you can put in different plant heads, grasses, and go all through the year. So I have gone through the year. Some of the things I've added have been a small branch of the Osage orange. I wove it in, and of course it's the orange looking. I've added in the white yarrow. I've added in the artemisia, the white sage. And as we go into the summer, there'll be wild hops. And then into the autumn, there's goldenrod, black-eyed Susans, there's bittersweet. I have added them here and there and everywhere, and I would stick them in the middle, there was no rhyme or reason, but yet it was all coming together as a wonderful tapestry of wild things that grow in my lane. In the fall, the thin seed heads or the stems are wonderful to collect. The one I love especially is the wild indigo, and that has the little pods on it that rattle, the seeds inside rattle. And so there's a sprig of that on there also. I will always add to it because as the years have gone by, it has dried a little more, and I see a few spaces here and there. So every now and then I'll stick in something else. And you can go through your garden area, your flower bed, whatever, and you could do the same. It's a wonderful thing to do with children, even just taking a little 12 by 12 piece of chicken wire and letting them weave things into it. It will create an interest, and they'll learn about the plants that are growing and what they are. Now, a couple of other things I've added to it just for interest are turkey feathers. And I do find turkey feathers in my lane, even right in my driveway, sometimes just as I come out of my house. So they are little gifts that are given to me, and I add them to it. I also have a wild Canadian goose feather that fell down from the sky, and when it landed on the ground, I saw it was a wild goose feather of all things. So of course that went in there too. At the bottom, I've added a garland of the tiny little gourds I grew in my garden, and all I did was poke a hole through them with a little Dremel tool and just string them on. It added a little interest, I think, at the bottom. You can do anything or anything you want to. You do whatever you want. It's just create your own.
It's beautiful. I love your wall hanging. What a neat creative way to make something beautiful with all the gifts of nature.
Absolutely, and it creates a gathering point where people will talk about it.
Yeah.
And I like that too.
Point of interest.
Very much so. And we talked about the sunflower patch, and it's still blooming. Go out if you possibly can. So I do have one more sunflower quote I'd like to add today.
Yes.
And it is, a sunflower does not compete with other flowers. It just blooms.
May we all take a lesson from that.
Absolutely. Have a great week.
Good earth blessings to you.